Beamer, Benz, and Bentley just got a certified gold single. Ain't an easy thing to be in this market, man.
Yeah.
Does it feel like the oomph is back? Does it feel like the momentum is coming back?
It definitely is a good feeling. It's one thing to be successful when everybody expects you to. You know, it's another added bonus. You know, when people expect you to not do good, and then you have a record like that come out and be successful. I think that was a record that that made even the biggest hater have to realize that you don't have to be supportive of it, but you can't ignore it. You know, even with me, like if I'm in the club and somebody I don't get along with in hip hop, and you got a big record, like it is what it is. I'm not gonna be standing, not moving with the pout face. You know, it was a beautiful thing, man. Like you said, it's a different time right now, climate-wise, as far as the economy goes, and so a gold record, independent, is really a platinum record. And a platinum record is a double platinum record when you're coming from an independent standpoint. So this record was recorded in my home, mixed and mastered out the pocket. G-Unit as a record label worked it, and here we are. 500,000 copies sold. A few months later.
Now is that on EMI, or is that just before?
The success of that record took off while we were still in the talks with EMI, and we were still discussing some things with Def Jam and a few other labels. And they just now picked up, EMI just picked up on the Any Girl record, which is the second single, so they moved in that field. But the Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, the success of that record was, G-Unit Records.
Now having everybody and their mama remix it, do you think that helped it or hurt it?
I think it helped it. Like I said, it's one thing to be respected by your supporters, your fans, the people who fight for you every day, and want you to do good. And then it's another thing to have that support and the support of your fans. It's kind of like when if you're at the slam dunk contest and it's like you see Vince Carter throw it through the legs and do some crazy shit, and then you see like all the people who he probably looked up to, like you see Dominique and Jordan and people like that in the crowd going crazy to it. So you expect the fans to go crazy, but when you see like people who you consider to be legends or even competition, when you see them say, yo man, that shit is dope, it's a good feeling.
How'd you end up hooking up with Juelz? I mean, at a certain point, both your kind of like leaders were in a little tete-a-tete or whatever. How did you get around the politics of that?
I think time does a lot for people. It's some things now that I probably wouldn't have paid attention to now that I look back on it. I think that, well, first off, through mutual friends, me and Juelz have, we've been cool. We keep in contact, and I think from prior situations, they haven't seen me spread my actions, too much. So a lot of the features that I do in the future would be considered controversial, or if not controversial, it's surprising because you haven't, extended yourself that much. And it wasn't because you didn't want to. It was just, G-Unit Records at one point had over 10 artists, so you didn't really have to look too far for something that you wanted to be done. In the Juelz situation, I think that, you have to be a leader of your own. At the end of the day, sometimes, even leaders learn from the student, and I think that it was something we had to do. We needed it for the sake of the city. I think the city grabbed on it immediately, and it just goes to show, like, you could be one thing, you could be big, have your own entity, and then it's just time to get out there and let's just form, something bigger than us. You know what I mean? Let's do it for the fans, and on top of that, let's do it because we got respect for each other's music. It's like I'm not waking up on my high horse anymore. It's like when you first come in the game, you're a little naive and you're on top of the world and you feel like you're the only one with an album out. That time is over for me. I'm going in almost 10 years into this business, and I'm a maturity level is high, and you start appreciating. Even when I go to different places now, like I used to be in Puerto Rico or be in Jamaica or wherever I'm at, and don't really even go outside the hotel, you know. And now it's a little different. Like, you realize that, you know, nobody's story is written to be here all the time and to always have that success. So you gotta appreciate it while you're having it.